It was past midnight when my phone rang. I was already in bed, half asleep, when I saw her name light up the screen. My high school girlfriend. Her voice was trembling, barely holding it together. She said something had happened, something bad. She didn't give me details, just begged me to come over. I could hear the fear in her voice, the kind that makes your stomach drop. I told my parents, grabbed my keys, and drove into the night. As I reached the top of her subdivision, I was met by a cop car, its lights flashing in the dark. The officer stepped out, his flashlight blinding me for a moment. He asked where I was going, and I told him about the call. He nodded, letting me pass, but his expression was grim. Something was wrong, very wrong. I came over the hill and saw it, the cul-de-sac lit up by flashing police lights. Multiple cop cars were parked in a circle, their radios crackling. As I pulled up, I felt their eyes on me. My girlfriend came running out of her house, her face pale, her eyes wide with terror. She met me in the street, her voice shaking as she told me what had happened. She told me about the neighbor, how someone had broken into her house and attacked her with something heavy. The neighbor managed to escape, running to my girlfriend's house, banging on the door like her life depended on it. And it did. Her mom opened the door and the neighbor collapsed into the foyer, bleeding from her head. That's when her mom saw him, the attacker, walking up the driveway, holding something dark and heavy in his hand. Her mom slammed the door, but not before the attacker smashed the little window at the top. Glass rained down, and the sound of her mom's screams filled the house. He stood there for a moment, just staring through the broken window, before turning and walking away into the night. No one knew who he was. No one ever found him. I stayed the night, along with a few cops who kept watch outside. In the morning, the sunlight revealed the horror we'd been too scared to see in the dark. Blood was still pooled on the floor, dried and dark. Splatters reached up the wall above the door, where he'd swung the bloody tool to break the glass. The neighbor survived, but she moved away soon after. No one was ever caught. It was random, brutal, and it could have been anyone. To this day, I can't drive past that cul-de-sac without feeling a chill. That night, the darkness wasn't just outside, it was in all of us. The fear, the uncertainty, the knowledge that evil can come knocking at any moment for no reason at all. And sometimes, it doesn't even have a face.